Bigfoot, aliens from outer space. There are stories out there that have haunted us for generations. Ordinary people put in terrifying situations. Sometimes the unexplained is stranger than the books we read. Do you have a story? An unsolved mystery? Lock yourself away with us for the next hour and let's talk about it. Nothing is too far. Nothing is off the table. You want to be heard? You want your story out there? Or do you just want someone to believe you? Well, then let's talk. I've got time and you've got a story. Don't be afraid. Don't be scared. Find the courage to call us or just listen in while we work through the stories of regular people just like you, reliving extraordinary situations. It's time to go off the record. Oh my God, does it get any prettier? Like Muhammad Ali used to say, I'm pretty, I'm so damn pretty. All right. It looks like, it looks like the pod track is moving up and down. It looks like Streamlabs is moving side to side. If you can't hear, turn up your goddamn volume. I'm not going to jeopardize the recording of this just for your own personal gain. No. It is 7:01 p.m. Los Angeles time, broadcasting from the Loop Studios in Minden, Nevada. It's time to go off the record with the General. You know, we have to add that to everything. You do. I don't know if you know that. I'm here with my current wife, Gen X Mom.
Hello, everyone.
So just so you know, I have to do that with everything now.
Why?
Because of copyright infringement. There's a million shows called Off the Record. Oh, yeah? Well, is there one called Off the Record with the General? No, there's not. Gen X Talks podcast with the General. Bottom of the Glass Nation with the General.
Oh.
All I have to do, technically, legally, all I have to do is add that to everything we're saying and doing, just with the General, and then we're good because nobody else does that. Nobody else is so arrogant and stupid to be adding with the General. Nobody but me.
Just you.
You're welcome, America. Look at I'm
Plus,
saving.
it's a little egotistical, but whatever.
You know what? I didn't even think
It
of it
is
that
all
way.
about you.
I didn't think of it that way.
Yes,
I
you
was
did.
thinking of a way to preserve and save us, and with no lawsuits, no money, no courtrooms. And if you know what? If I have to label everything with the General, well, that's a sacrifice.
Man, I don't know.
I'm willing to make. I
I
got to
don't
do
think you're
it.
going to sleep well at night.
All right, so I didn't get a 5x5 from anybody anywhere at any time. No one said anything. So the hell with you guys. If we're 1x1, I guess that's close enough. So many things to talk about. Welcome back to the Gen X Talks program. It's been a minute.
So many things afoot at the Circle K.
There are strange things afoot at the Circle K. Now, we do have a caller, and if you guys want to be part of the program, just text the phone, 805-460-5603 if you want to be part of the program tonight. Text, don't call, just text and tell me what your thought is, what your idea is, what your scary story is. If you have something that interests you, like, hey, I was abducted by aliens. Hey, man, I was asleep and I heard a ghost train. There hasn't been a train for 200 years and it woke me up. If there's stuff going on, or if you have a conspiracy theory, something you want to talk about, you got to text. Just tell me the topic. I can give you a call, put you on the air. We'll breeze through our time
We had
here.
a ghost train.
I almost called your brother. I did. I seriously did because I didn't know what that was. I almost called, and we heard a train. We're getting set up about an hour ago, 40 minutes
It
ago.
was quiet in here.
Quiet in the studio. We're getting stuff set up, and then all of a sudden, real faint, we heard a train, like a train whistle, and we both looked at each other like,
There's no
there's
railroad tracks.
there's no running trains around here. I mean, there was back in the day. I think I even can tell you where some train tracks are, and I'm kind of new to the area. But then a minute later, we heard it again.
And Carson City's too far away for the V&T Railroad.
I think it is because I don't know, man. It's a loud Carson Valley, and we're at the other end of it, and there are some hills between there and here. And V&T actually kind of runs a little bit more towards the very, very, very east side of Carson, like almost in Mound House. Maybe we could hear it. I don't know. But then it went through again, and we both looked at each other like, okay.
Did you hear that?
That's close. And then, I'm thinking as a logical male with consumed with facts and trying to dig to the bottom, I thought, I'll call the Sun Valley Fox. He will know why we hear it. I haven't heard a train since we've lived here. It's the first time. He would be able to tell me what was going on. Do you remember what dumb thing you said? Do you remember what came out of your mouth when I'm thinking?
It could be a truck horn.
Yeah, you said.
We used to have them in Bakersfield.
You said it could be a truck horn that's disguised as a train. It's got one of those little sound things on it. Why would a trucker come through Minden or Gardnerville or Carson City pretending to be a train?
Not a trucker, like a kid with a. That's what used to come around our house because they used to come by our house to honk so that our daughter would know.
And it sounded like a train. She knew exactly who it was when it came by. When were you going to tell me this? What are you talking about?
Where have you been your whole life? Your whole father life?
Are you serious that actually happened?
Yes.
Okay.
One of your beautiful daughters.
Hold on. Tomorrow morning on our podcast, we're hashing this out because why didn't you? Never mind.
Yes, it has been said
all right,
before.
Okay. It has not been said. That is something as a dad, my radar would be going off with that. Come on, man.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. So before we begin, I'm going to tease you and test you and sacrifice you to the masses and make sure that you're the guinea pig for all things consideration here.
Rude.
I don't have a choice. You sat down here across from me. Yeah. I just want you to know I'm gonna ask you a yes or no question about conspiracies or something, and you just say yes or no, and then I may ask you a follow-up question. You don't have to list me a book. I just want to know your opinion. I want to know what you think. Okay. You are the female representative of all Generation X at this time.
I'm so sorry,
at this moment. You think that's disappointing? You're not the right representative? I think we're okay.
The more I watch Mad Men, the more I feel like I've lived more like a boomer, been exposed to more stuff than that.
I finally got her to sit down and watch Mad Men, and I didn't realize the first part of that first season was a little bit slower than I thought, but it really picks up and goes strong. Like every episode's great later on, so she's getting into it. Yeah, but she's feeling like she's a lot older than she is. I think she feels more like her brother's age. So, all right, JFK assassination. Did Lee Harvey Oswald kill John F. Kennedy?
Yes.
Now, is there anything more to add to that?
Yes.
Like what? What would you, for just your opinion?
I think he was the fall guy for it.
Well, you just said he killed him. So did he kill him or was he the fall guy? Which one?
No, he got set up to do it by an organization.
So you think his bullet killed John F. Kennedy?
Yes.
And you think he had help is what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Do you think there's a controversy? Do you think Barack Obama was a natural-born U.S. citizen? Yes or no?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
Well, you're really putting my shit out here.
All I'm doing is asking you some very generic questions and not even tough. I'm just going through a list.
I didn't say they were tough. I'm just saying.
Oh, you don't want
my opinion, man.
You don't want your opinions known. You're trying to keep that shit to yourself. Was the moon landing fake?
No.
You think we went?
Yes.
I did some follow-up. I got a bunch of emails when I was commenting last week about that, and I got a ton of emails of people like pros and cons, mostly people saying, you can't believe you're so stupid. We didn't land on the moon. But one guy, he linked me to a YouTube video that he was part of making. He helped create it. And it was a little bit different. They said, and this is his simple belief is, yes, we landed on the moon, but they knew that Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Collins, they knew they were going to see maybe some stuff up there that we may not want known to the rest of the world. Stuff you can't see on the dark side of the moon. Stuff that they could see from a distance that at the time we weren't picking up on telescopes. We didn't have anything pointed that way. So what they did was, and this guy's theory was, they shot a bunch of moon landing stuff and faked it here on Earth because if they went up there and saw some stuff, they didn't want to broadcast it. They needed to have. They already. Everyone knew we were going.
I could see that happen.
Everybody knew we were up there, so they're like, okay, let's turn on the TV and watch. Let's turn on the TV and watch. And they're like, look, if stuff turns up that we don't want them to see, we better have something back up to show them.
Again, I'm going back to what my dad has seen and stuff that he took to his grave.
Yeah.
There's stuff my dad knows.
Yeah.
That he has seen. He's been to Area 51.
Yep.
He was at Area 51. He was part of the SR-71 project, and you can't tell me the SR-71, as high as it flew, they didn't see shit.
No, they did. Absolutely.
So,
If there was anything to see, those guys flew and saw it, for sure.
So I'm going with my dad's background that, And he even said the moon landing happened. I mean, eventually, like down the road, he was kind of on the sideline looking in, but he was part of that program.
Your dad, even though he died a while ago, he really got into the internet and scope and stuff. Right? He really started going to websites and looking at things.
Oh, he thought, oh man, if he was still living today, he would just dig the internet. Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He went around through a lot of stuff, but he'd be even more into it now. Mm-hmm. COVID was engineered by the media, and it wasn't real.
By the media?
Yeah.
I don't think it was engineered by them, but it was pushed.
No. Was it fake, and it was all just media driven, or do you think COVID-19 was actually real?
I think it was real.
I do too. Dr. McDreamy told me it was real, and he had some stuff on that. So as far as that conspiracy goes, it had to be real. I mean, you can't fake that whole thing. I don't think anyway. That didn't seem real to me.
No.
All right. There is a theory that the Earth has been sucked into a black hole.
Oh, I've heard that one too. No.
No way.
We would all die.
Yeah,
as we go through
the whole thing of a black hole is gravity that's so big and so intense that light can't escape. So how would we not be torn to shreds?
We would have imploded on ourselves.
There's no way. Those guys are fucking idiots. Okay, here's one that I didn't know about. I had to read this now. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I submit to you the Disney Corporation wrote, filmed, edited, and produced the movie Frozen because they were trying to sideline Google's algorithms on the freezing process that Walt Disney is currently enjoying.
What?
They say there is a theory that there was, with AI coming up, AI was at 10 years away or 8 years away. They knew AI was coming up, and the Google search engines were getting so exact and so good, they were starting to people were starting to uncover the fact of Walt Disney really being frozen, his body being in cryostasis. So they're like, look, if we put out a movie Frozen and it's super popular, anytime anyone ever starts Googling anything about Frozen and frozen bodies and Walt Disney, it's always going to go Disney and Frozen will never go to the cryogenic state that he's in. It will always go to the movie. So they did the movie just as a distraction for AI and the Google search engines so that nobody could keep pursuing what's going on with Walt Disney. It was a big distraction.
Boy, okay.
Well, you got this on my question. You're on the hot seat, my love.
I understand. No, I don't think that's true.
I don't think so either.
That's a really far-fetched. They go that far, and who cares if he's in cryogenics?
There you go. That's what I was saying. I was waiting for you to finish because that was going to be my whole argument. Is like, well, we could make a movie and spend all this money, and hopefully it's not a flop, and hopefully it's a success, and we could do it as a distraction. Or Bob Iger could have sat there going, or who gives a shit? Who cares if they're trying to figure this out?
Like, have they ever?
Who cares if they do figure it out?
Have they actually put somebody in cryogenics and brought him back alive already?
No, not
so
one.
They don't even know that it's even going to work.
Well, okay, let me back up. That's not true. They have.
What, Demolition Man?
No.
Is that true?
Didn't you see Demolition Man?
Demolition Man's true. If it was in the movie, then it's true.
We got 4 more years till we find out what the 3 shells do. No, there have been people that have fallen into the Arctic, the Atlantic Ocean, and been frozen for hours and hours, and they pull them back, and because their body's metabolism was frozen, they're dead, they're not breathing, and their lungs are full of water, but they've been able to revive them. That has happened a lot. I don't know if they've intentionally put someone, killed them under a freezing blanket and brought them back. I'm guessing that at some point somebody experimented and has. I don't think that's too tough. I think you can stop someone's heart, you can stop their lungs, and you can freeze them, and within a certain amount of time, bring them back. I get it. Everything's frozen and slows down. Fine. But if someone dies from something, not only would you have to bring them back, you'd have to cure whatever they died from. And what if they just died of old age? You can't fix that, or you would have fixed it before they died.
You can't bring it back after you die.
That's what Disney. I don't even remember what Disney died from, but whatever he died from, he's thinking not only can you freeze me and bring me back, but fix whatever is ailing me, whatever killed me, fix it. You know, if it was lung cancer,
Not God, not
I'm
Jesus.
just saying that's what and Frozen was a distraction from the whole thing. All right, here's another one. The Earth is hollow.
No.
Okay, you said that pretty quick. Why not? What does your Gen X logic say?
Because
What?
we've drilled and there's magma in the core.
You think we've actually drilled to magma? I don't think we're ever going to be able to drill that far.
No, but I mean, where does the magma come from? Or from volcanoes?
It's
What
true.
is that?
Yeah, it's got it. So
It's got to come from somewhere.
right. My thing was the Earth has to be solid, or we wouldn't have the gravity we have.
Oh, good point.
If it was hollow, then the mass of the Earth that is the crust, or however long, that would not be able to hold us on we wouldn't be able to hold us down to the ground. Wouldn't do it. And the Earth, the oceans would slosh away. As
Wouldn't
they
we
say.
like collapse in on ourselves too if it was hollow?
No, there's no gravity. Nothing's pulling. No
Oh,
gravity pulling
gotcha.
down. I'm just saying that. But the deepest we've ever gone, I think, is 12 miles with a 2-inch drill bit. I think that was the Kola. I think it's called the Kola drill hole they did in Russia. And then they absolutely, the stories of the guys who did it say there was weird noises and weird things and temperature changes and all this weird shit. And they finally just covered it up. It's got a plate over it, and they just bolted it and said, "We're done."
Dude has a good comment
Well,
on
where is it?
Discord.
Oh, there's dude's on Discord. Yeah.
Discord channel. He says the Earth is hollow. That's where hell is.
I
That's
don't.
interesting.
Yeah, but why
It's
would?
an interesting concept.
Okay, but from a religious point of view, why would hell be there?
Because we're walking in it already. We're on.
I don't know.
We're in
I
hell.
don't know. I don't know that I'd go along with that. I don't know. Just they say the Earth's core is it's hollow. I don't buy that one. All right, here's the other most common one, and I'm really getting sick of this one. The world is flat.
Ugh, I'm so tired of that.
I can't even believe. I'm not. If you guys are fans of Gen X Talks, but you're also fans of a flat Earth, I say this in the most Gen X nicest way I can. The fuck is wrong with you? There is absolutely not one shred of proof that the Earth is flat. Nothing. It's all like, well, did you know there's a hidden shelf in an Arctic Circle? Did you know that you can't go to Antarctica? Did you know? It's all these presumptions and things, but there's no proof ever. And there's tons of evidence that the Earth is round, or
So does that mean
spherical.
all the planets are flat? Do they believe?
well,
All the rest of them
I
are
put
flat?
out that picture of the 9 planets in the sun, and they're all round, and then it shows the Earth as being flat, and the caption of the picture says, "Well, this is embarrassing."
So how do we spin?
They've got made up things that have no scientific background at all. I mean, there's 100 different ways to prove that the Earth is round, and whenever you talk to a flat earther, they have some weird, bizarre explanation, and they're not scientific explanations.
You know what I'd ask them? I'd ask them, are we on the top or the bottom?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
What would they believe?
I don't know.
So we're walking upside down?
Maybe you wouldn't know.
But then how would they prove gravity?
The Earth sucks. Listen, here's the logic that a flat earther uses on everything. Okay.
Right.
They look up in the sky and they take a telescope and they zoom in on the sun. This is, and I've actually been told this.
Okay, I'm waiting.
And they say, look, you guys say there's no oxygen in space. We, on the flat earth, we tell you there is no space. There's no space. It is oxygen.
Doesn't space start as soon as it leaves the ground?
No, there's no space. There's no outer space.
Okay.
And to prove it, they look at the sun and say, see that fire up there? You can't have fire without oxygen. And that's flaming. The sun is flaming all the time. That's what they say. Now,
It's a star.
yeah, it's nuclear fission is what's going on. There
It's
is
a
no, it's nuclear
star.
fission. They've already figured it out. They've already proven it. They've
What, they
moved
think it's
on.
a furnace?
But flat earthers will tell you that look up in the sky, the sun is on fire. There's no fire without oxygen. We win. And there's no They can't prove it. They're just saying that out loud because it looks correct to a 5-year-old. A 5-year-old will go, yeah, that looks right. That's every argument that a flat earther makes that I've seen ever, 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 ever. All right.
John Morgan over on YouTube dropped $5 and said, "Flat earthers gather for a convention from around the globe."
Oh, my God. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Oh, I don't know.
Do you believe that the Nazis had a secret base in Antarctica and they were housing and working with UFOs? The fact that it's taking you a long time to answer.
Well, I'm trying to figure out going, why would they? I mean, so many questions. I just opened up a whole big can of worms.
Yeah, why would they have a base down there?
Why would they want to be with the UFO? I'm just going down a rabbit hole, and so
I need a yes or a no from you to start with.
No.
Okay.
Why would they waste their time?
And I don't think the Nazis...
It's not like the UFOs have helped them anyway. So
I'm just saying that I don't believe that's true for a number of reasons. Especially in the 40s, it would have been very, very difficult to build a base and get power and food and supply it with all the people that you need to run a military base with a cover-up of UFOs. And I don't, the Nazis weren't in power that long. Now, if Nazis had run the planet for like 200 years, you'd think, okay, you guys got the resources, the time, you can branch out, you've conquered the world, you can branch out and do more stuff. They couldn't even build an aircraft carrier. They didn't even have one. So I'm thinking no on the base, but that's just me. All right.
Some people believe that?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like a thing.
All right.
Okay, here comes a big one. And this is really controversial, and some people that I respect have.
You're making me put my business out here.
I know. That's right. Girlfriend, this is it, baby.
Okay.
Are we living in the Matrix?
Oh my gosh, I've heard
in a
this.
computer simulation?
No.
Boy, you answered that quick.
Well, because I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I believe in God. I believe that he made the earth. I do not believe it's in the Matrix. It's because of my religious beliefs.
Okay, so you don't think that there's a way that you could put those two together?
No.
Okay. There is a thing I just saw recently. I guess it's been out for a while, and I just saw it recently. Came across Reels or something on a TikTok, and I want to go try it. But there are construction workers that say you can take your laser level, and if you hold the laser level at a certain angle and under certain conditions, and I forget what they are, but there's like 30 videos that I bumped onto that show this, that it exposes the Matrix as ones and zeros going by. And they filmed it. They're like, look, I don't even know what this is. I'm a dumb construction worker, but watch this. And then they set this thing up, and they're like, there you go. And others have done it now, too. Now, everybody out there in radio and TV land, they're writing this down right now. They're making notes. I got to go look this up when we're done. No. It's a thing. Construction workers, laser light level, and it exposes the Matrix because the laser diffuses that section of the Matrix that's trying to use the hologram to keep us in place, and it exposes a thin layer of ones and zeros. And guess what? Here's the kicker to this. This is the one thing that made me raise an eyebrow, thinking maybe Elon Musk he's onto something, that we could be in the Matrix. There's guys that film this, just like, here's my phone, here, film what I'm doing here, Bob. And they film it in North Carolina, and it comes out with this pattern of ones and zeros, and you're like, holy shit, that's weird. Then this guy does it in Peru, and it's the same exact code. They froze it, they paused it, and they looked. And then a guy does it in Russia, same code. It's the same exact linear code of ones and zeros. Yeah, think about that. I'm just saying now.
I'm sticking to what I'm thinking.
Elon Musk postulated.
Oh, that's a big word. That's
it
a
is.
$12 word.
That's a $12 word. I had to borrow that from somebody.
Okay.
That we are all characters in a giant like video game.
Oh my gosh.
And we're being played by some other person, entity, alien, that we're all characters being played in some big game.
We are too complex for that shit.
I don't know. If that's true, then why is some kid playing me and wanted to be an old fat guy. I want to meet the guy playing me going, look, I got the fat upgrade. It took me 10 years, but I got him up to 400 pounds, man. My guy's awesome. He's running around being my character.
No.
I don't know. I just can't see it. I'd have a tough one with that one too. But the Matrix one is always big. It's a big, big, big thing. They talk about the moon not being a real moon, and they talk about there is historical documents where people were just commenting, looking up, going, "There's two moons," and it was very narrow sliver of time in recorded history where someone casually is like, yeah, it's Wednesday. I went down to the market. I bought some fish. I got some bread. I got some wine. I came back. I banged my wife on the countertop, and we sat outside smoking grass. And I looked up, and there was two moons tonight. Some nights there's only one. Tonight there was two, and off we went with our day. And just casually write.
And smoking grass was the answer. There you go.
Well, they say these scientists now say, these quote unquote scientists, that the moon was pulled and dropped off there in our orbit.
What?
Yeah, and that brief period of time in history was the other moon that they thought they saw was the ship dragging the moon. And that's why there's no two moons. There wasn't two moons before. There was none. Now there's two moons. Now there's one. Because at that period in time, the other ship was dropping off the moon.
Oh, my goodness.
Not sure who ordered a moon, but it got delivered and we're okay now. I don't believe that either. I don't believe that.
Okay.
We covered the Titanic not sinking. That was a big one there. What was the other ones in there? Do you believe? Now, this is an argument that gets into Big Bang Theory stuff, okay? It goes way scientific. And as we all know, Big Bang Theory is a documentary about the inner workings of science in comic books. Can there be such thing as a zombie? As The Walking Dead?
No.
Why? You answered that pretty quick.
Because I don't believe in that.
Well, it's not a mystical thing. No one's praying over them with witchcraft and having them rise up.
Nobody's seen one.
Well, there's lots of people that have claimed they've seen it. And now let me explain to you what the theory is. They don't rise from the dead and start with a beating heart and lungs. No. They're talking about some sort of a small parasite that crawls into a dead person, attaches to their nervous system, and then begins using their fingers and using their feet and their legs to walk and their head to turn. The parasite gets inside the brainstem, attaches itself, but instead of your brain controlling everything, now this little parasite is. So they're just using the zombie as a host body.
Then this parasite thinks and knows how to move.
Yeah, can operate a
so
person.
That parasite is that advanced that it could use a body for a host.
Well,
no.
What do you mean no?
No way. That it could walk and think and move and know how to kill people.
Okay,
and
now hold on. I'm not saying that a parasite jumps inside of a dead body, grabs its brainstem, and starts doing algebra. Okay, I'm not saying it's thinking on that level, but maybe the parasite can think on a level like, I have to have nourishment, I have to have water.
How would they know what nourishment is?
I don't know. How would they know what water is? How does an alligator know what to eat? It just knows. It's like, I'm hungry, I'm going to go eat food. How did it know? It didn't get taught that. An alligator just goes and eats. That type of basic instinct in this thing. And so it just attaches and then begins going around. The only problem I have with that theory, that scientific ploy, is that not all the bodies that they would inhabit have working parts. You're saying you're going to walk around. You can't do it as a skeleton. Let's be clear there. There's no tendons. There's no muscles. There's no anything.
Right.
And you couldn't do it really to one. The zombies all come from coffins that have been under the ground for years. Aren't those parts mainly decayed and they wouldn't function? You couldn't. You
go back to dust. There's no. It'd have to be a body that's like
just died.
Just died.
Yeah, just died. Like you have to be at the UCLA cadaver lab, and the parasite would have to get in there and start right then. I would think.
Decaying fast.
Right.
Like,
so see, I'm not saying that that all the stuff they talk about, but if that parasite can multiply, now it can keep going around. What if the parasite could actually take over a living person? Now you're a zombie, but you're actually a whole person. You didn't die.
No, I still don't believe it.
Well, you just...
I'm just telling you, you asked
I
what I
know.
thought. And I'm not buying that.
Okay. Well, fine. I'm just going to talk about zombies then.
Not buying it. I'm not smelling what you're stepping in.
Not even a little bit.
Nope.
Do you believe that Amelia Earhart, she died like she got lost and crashed her plane? Or do you believe that she was part of a government thing and she's hidden away for years, like she was spying on, this is pre-World War II, and that she was on a mission to spy on like all the other countries like Russia and Japan and China?
No, she crashed.
She just crashed and died.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a big conspiracy that she was eaten by crabs, which I find stupid because if we can't find her, then how do you know she was eaten by crabs? I don't understand what the logic is in that.
No, she crashed.
All right. Yes or no? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Loch Ness Monster. Dum dum. Dum 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 dum. Well, you're having a tough one with this one.
Yeah, because I'm blowing this out of
Okay, let me
proportion.
ask you this. Do you know what LiDAR is?
No, what's that?
There's different versions of LiDAR, but they can take a plane and they can fly over land, and this particular equipment can remove all the bushes.
Okay.
And just like that Drain the Oceans thing you used to watch, that's based on LiDAR, how they can go into they can't go down to the bottom of the Marianas Trench, but they can go into certain water and take a picture, a photo, scan it, and tell you exactly what's
underneath it.
on the bed of the lake.
Okay.
So you're going to tell me that people haven't scanned and seen? There's no they
Well,
just.
how deep is I don't know much about the lake. I mean, how deep is it?
That's one of the deeper lakes.
Because we're still finding species of stuff out in the ocean that we've never discovered.
They say the people that believe it's 100% real, and this is not a Bigfoot theory where like they keep moving the goalposts. Oh, the reason we can't see Bigfoot is this. Now we can't see him because of that. Oh, they take out their dead body. Oh, they always move the goalpost on Bigfoot. Now they say Bigfoot is now interdimensional. So it can warp where it wants. Okay, you guys just, every time we come up with proof there's no Bigfoot, you fuckers invent some fantastic thing. Not with Loch Ness. They have been pretty stout on the fact that they believe that this creature goes through underground, a cave way deep that they haven't found yet, to other lakes and to other Now, if you asked me if the earth is hollow, I'd say no. But if you said, is there a possibility that there are places on earth that are huge, hollowed out places that have air and water and land? Yeah, maybe no light, but I believe that's possible. Maybe this thing lives in that direction. So they've been constant about where it goes. They're not making up stuff. Oh, it just magically disappears whenever you try to find it.
Well, that's why I'm saying, well, we don't know how deep. I mean, I don't know much about that lake to know.
But they've never seen it with all their gear. It's like, okay, now I'm starting to think no, because every time they run a test, this thing takes off. Every time they scan the water, this thing's mysteriously not there. And don't tell me you're overlooking it. You guys have told us how big the fucking thing is. Come on.
How do they know how big it is? They've just seen the neck, right?
No, there's videos out there of this thing with like
a dinosaur?
Like several humps in it. Like it's coming out of the water in 7 different places.
Oh.
Like trickling along. I'm just saying. So Loch Ness, I'm saying no. What do you say?
Probably not. But
I'm leaning that way. How much, now this is going back to your dad a little bit. Solar flares. We know that solar flares can cause things on Earth like, okay, cell disruption and stuff like that. But there is a whole society that tells you that these solar flares can actually crash airplanes, or they can sink a boat. They can cause an earthquake. I mean, the stuff that there's a group of people that say solar flares open up portals, time portals. And I'm thinking, I don't think any of that's real. I think a massive solar flare might cause a little bit of disruption in our technology, but that's as far as it goes for me.
That's all I see. I don't see that being a major issue.
Yeah. Well,
No, solar flares have been happening a very long time. That's not like some new thing.
do you think there ever was, ever, a mermaid, a real mermaid?
Half fish, half woman.
Yeah. Do you think there ever was a mermaid? Because it could be an extinct species of some sort, or it can be completely made up the whole time. Do you ever think that, because people have kind of dropped it now.
I know. No, I think it's mythical.
You think it's just drunken sailors talking about seeing half-naked women?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just saying, because that's a thing. There was one more. We already did the contrail thing. That was so stupid. Abominable Snowman is just the same thing as a Bigfoot deal. The other thing that's popular on the internet right now is they're saying now that we've bumped up ourselves to 5G, that is going to cause cancers and things in our brains and stuff because the 5G going through us.
I don't know if it's just 5G, but I think putting that stuff near, I mean, well, I don't know. We grew up in the era of microwaves where, remember, we were saying, don't stand close to the microwave
yeah.
door. Or
yeah,
whatever.
But to be fair, that microwaves weren't built very solid back then. They weighed a ton, but the doors didn't close right. I remember going by a microwave one time that was built in 1985 and having the fillings in my teeth start to vibrate. So, I mean, they're powerful, but I don't
that
know.
it causes cancer? I mean,
thumbs up, thumbs down, just your gut.
no, I don't think so.
I say no. I say no also because every one of these people that is pushing this is a big thing now, that if 5G is going to kill us all from, these same people that are pushing this agenda are still using their cell phones. They're not walking around with aluminum football helmets.
Okay,
They didn't line their football helmets with Reynolds wrap, aluminum foil, and trying to keep the signals out. They're not. If it's true, they're not taking it very seriously.
I don't think that's what's causing cancer. I think it's all the chemicals that they're putting in the food
I
that
do
we
too,
ingest.
but I'm talking about this. You Google that 5G cancer, and it is a big thing.
I would be like more concerned about like radiation and stuff like
Just
that.
giving you the top ones out there, my love. Just bringing it out there. Now, listen, we do have a story to get to. We have a caller. I'm going to check the phone right now to see if anybody else has chimed in. If you wanted to be part of the program, 805-460-5603. That's the number you can text us at. All right. What
You
now?
made me probably dumb. People are going to think I'm really dumb, or I don't know.
Sweetheart, without putting all of your business on the street, I'm going to let the world in on one little thing. About 4 times a week, I stare at you and just blink, and I say, oh, it's a good thing you are, what do I always tell you? I say, boy, it's a good thing you're
Pretty,
Yeah. Why do I say that?
because I'm dumb.
Yeah, I say it's a good, honey. I just every week I look at you and I go, gosh, it's a good thing you're pretty.
I know. I'm really not blonde.
No,
but
you're not. But okay, so all
I
right.
guess I just don't run around thinking about these conspiracy theories because there's a life to be led. Like,
Well,
it's just
do
not
you know how
part of
we-
my thing.
You know how we talked about AI not too long ago, and how AI is ruining the internet right now as we speak, and everyone's part of it. You guys out there in radio and TV land, you feel the same way. How many times do you guys skip something you're watching because you're like, that's fake, that's
Yeah.
AI? You don't even look anymore.
Yes.
You're like, nah, I'm skipping that AI. Artificial intelligence is ruining the internet, and it's getting so good, I almost can't tell some of them are fake. So now I'm probably missing some good videos, some really cool
Probably.
ones, because I don't know anymore. And I don't give a shit. It's turning me off.
I think I'm going to stick to reading my books because it'll be my imagination and not somebody else's.
Well, that's my point, is that now every conspiracy theory you want out there, you can magically come up with proof. AI can build you your proof, and you don't know. I don't even care anymore. So I just do the old Irish thing. I just Gen X, I go with my gut. If someone says something, I'm like, that doesn't sound right. And I move on. I don't want to debate you. I don't want to talk about it. I think you're full of shit. And don't say, well, look at these pictures here, because AI can make the pictures.
Yeah.
I don't even know anymore.
We're living more and more in a false world.
So we have a friend of the program. You can remember Loud One. You remember Ian Porteus. He's Ian Porteus over there on Facebook, and he's Loudwin on YouTube. I don't know if he's in the chat tonight or not. I know he's back east. He's probably trying to crash out to do his truck driving thing, but he had a story. So I'm going to call Ian, see if we can get him on the phone here.
While you're calling, Star Roberts is in the chat in YouTube and gifted memberships tonight. And John Morgan gave $2. Blonde is a state of mind or lack thereof. Oh, he's full of it tonight.
Hello.
Oi.
I always got to wait to see if it's his dumb answering machine, because he does that dumb answering machine where he says hello and he says like something like, "What are you doing?" And I'm talking away, and then he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm not here," or something.
I'm going, oi. Oi.
So
Someone's got to mess with you.
Yeah, I don't like it, man. I feel totally stupid.
Here, this one's for Ian. I'm going to the loo.
Okay. Don't
Ian,
be long.
Loudwin has been the bus driver for this crazy band of misfits. He's been around the program for years and years. He's contributed probably as much as anybody in every way you can to make Gen X Talks go forward. But I got to be fair with you guys. Little fair warning there. He's a few bricks shy of a full load. His elevator does not go quite to the top. And I used to blame it on where he grew up. And being from Australia on the island of Tasmania, that's not a good start. But genuinely, this guy's just off his rocker. I love him like a brother, so I'm going to let him talk tonight because he's got a story. But when Ian tells you a story, number one, you got to push your headphones in real tight because it's hard to hear him with this thick accent. And if you miss a few words, just move on. Just go on with it. But Ian, you talked to Shiloh, our producer. She said you had one hell of a story.
Oh, yeah, I've got bunches of them, but yeah, I've got another good one for you. So, we'll start about the place itself.
Okay.
So I've mentioned it before. It's Port Arthur. It's the penal colony in Tasmania. So Port Arthur was formed as a prison on an island for the island prison.
Wow.
So if you were sent to at the time it was called Van Diemen's Land. So if you were sentenced from England, you could have been sentenced to go to Van Diemen's Land. And it was generally because you had murdered someone or, like done something pretty terrible.
Right.
But you could also be sent down there from Sydney. So if you committed crimes in Sydney that deserved for you to be in a prison, then you would be sent down there.
Okay.
So essentially, it was the worst of the worst.
Now hold on a second.
And
why would they? You telling me that in Australia, with all that land on that continent, they don't have enough places to build a prison? They had to build a prison over on an island far away? I mean, that's something.
Well, the idea behind it was that it was hard to escape.
Okay.
So where Port Arthur was built, it's on a place called Eaglehawk Neck, which is kind of southwest of Hobart, but it's stupid because you've got to go north to get to it.
Right.
So you've got to go over and then come down onto a peninsula.
Okay.
Now, on the thinnest point of this peninsula, it's about 100 feet wide.
You're kidding.
So they had what was called a chain of dogs. So they had guards standing there with a whole bunch of dogs that would just eat you alive. So the whole idea of that was it was the only way in or out.
Hold on, before you go with your story, I want to tell the audience something. I poked around a little bit about this place he's talking about, and there are credible, solid eyewitnesses over long periods of time that in some of these witness accounts of things that supernatural, weird things that have happened, they don't want to be known. They're like, I'll tell you the story once, write it down because I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to be in a magazine. I don't want any. I mean, these aren't people seeking out to be famous for a story. In fact, there's a lot of these people that were scared to death that didn't want to talk about it. So when Ian's telling you a story, he's in a long line of credible people that have amazing stuff to say. I want to preface it by that. All right, didn't mean to interrupt you, Ian. Go ahead.
No, you're good. It is actually one of the most haunted places in the world and heavily documented on that. So,
yeah.
But yeah, so the place itself, like it's a very secluded spot. It's surrounded by water. which is also where sharks tend to breed, like as in the area around Eaglehawk Neck is where sharks breed. So the whole idea of putting it down there was to make it impossible to escape.
Sure.
In saying that, people did. So, but anyway, we go in there. So I think it would have been, well, the first time I went down there, I was in school. So that would have been like early 80s. I was in primary school.
What were you doing down there in school? Please tell me that wasn't a field trip.
It was. We used to. So there's a place. There's a place nearby down there that that we would go and camp down there, and they would actually take us into there because it's part of Australian history.
I don't care, man. What a fucked up thing for you Australians are weird. Hey, where do we want to go? We can go to the amusement park. We can go to the beach for the day. Oh, no. What about the haunted prison over on the island over? Yeah, let's get a bunch of kids to go over there. All right. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ian.
We're in Tasmania. It was a couple of hour drive for us to go down there. So,
still.
Yeah. So back then in school, so they would take us down and teach us the history of the places, and they would take us into all the different buildings. So one particular one is in the in solitary confinement. It has its own chapel.
Okay.
And when you go in there, like it's still. Like you could actually go in there and see it all. It's still intact. It was one of the things that didn't actually fall down. So they were actually able to keep it maintained. So it was part of the tourist attraction. So what they would do though, as with us as kids, and I think they were still doing it up until the mid 90s, but they'd get all the kids to go in there and they would stand in these cubicles. So when the prisoners would go in, they're wearing like a canvas type of uniform, and there was yellow and it had these arrows on it, and they had a cowl hood on that all they had was an ice lot. You could not see who each prisoner was, and each cubicle was for one person only, and that's where they would stand, and that's where they would they'd go to church.
Sure.
So that what they would do with us kids is they'd get us to go and stand in these cubicles and then take a photo of us standing up, standing in there as a class photo.
Okay, it's still fucking really weird. Go ahead.
It was. So there was a photo, and it's on the wall in Port Arthur. Like it's actually on the wall in when you go in through the Welcome Centre.
Okay.
There's a photo in there of my class, and I'm in that photo, and in every single cubicle, standing right behind the kids, are convicts. You can see them ghosted behind every single person in that photo.
It's like the Haunted Mansion.
It's like the Haunted Mansion ride, at Disneyland. Wow.
We didn't know they were there at the time, but saw it in the photo.
Did the guy taking the picture know? Did he say something, or did it only come out after?
No one knew anything about it
until it was developed.
Until it was developed.
Holy shit!
And I didn't find out until my mum got a copy of the photo, and Mum got it, and Mum's looking at it, and she goes, "You need to come here." I'm like, "Okay, what did I do?" She's like, "No, you haven't done anything." And Mum's got the photo, and she had two of her other friends there, and she said, "What has been happening over the last couple of weeks?" I'm like, "Nothing unusual, just I've been really angry and want to hurt everyone." And apparently, ghosts like to attach themselves to kids, and ghosts had followed me home. So my mum had to go about trying to remove them.
Your mom, we've already talked about, your mother was dialed in. I mean, she had some pull when it came to that other side of the fence stuff. She did.
Yeah.
I mean,
my mum was very, very, she was one of Australia's leading clairvoyants.
You know what?
She was very young when she passed away.
To be fair about everyone who has met you, and to be fair to everyone who is going to meet you, I think you need to start off with that story right when you shake their hands. And let me tell you why. No. This is a reason for this. I'm not just throwing shit out there. Ian, the fact that a ghost attached himself to you and followed you home, man, that explains a lot about you. I mean, I get some of the stuff that goes on with you now.
You actually knowing a lot about what goes on in my life, it does make sense.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't surprise me if she is still following me around
because
of the amount of stuff that goes wrong.
You know what? I got to think that, without this spirit haunting you, you might be one of the most boring people I've ever met. But by God, again.
My life's definitely not boring, that's for sure.
No, it's not. If I want to feel exhausted without doing any workout, I got to talk to Ian for an hour and just let him listen to all the stuff he's doing in life. I get exhausted listening.
It's pretty nonstop.
That was one of the.
So there's more that.
Hold on, when you were talking about that chapel area with,
yes,
and you kind of breezed over the explanation about the cubicle thing. That is a real hot spot of ghost activity in that Port Arthur. If you go look it up, there's pictures of those cubicles that Ian's talking about where they put the kids for the pictures. It's fucking weird looking, creepy looking just to look at the cubicles. They're set up. They're not set up like an office cubicle. They're set up where you can see everybody, like a class picture, but you're kind of by yourself, kind of in a staged type setting. Right? Yeah, only like a stage thing from the front. If you guys take time to look that up, just do Port Arthur, the chapel thing, and the picture comes up, and then you can see what he's talking about. It does resemble a little bit of that Disneyland ride at the Haunted Mansion when you leave the Haunted Mansion. Remember the last thing you guys do on your way out? The thing turns towards a mirror and there's a ghost behind you. His description and the picture of the cubicle that's online, it's almost like someone in the Haunted Mansion said, yeah, I know what we're doing here because this is a fucked up thing in Tasmania. We're bringing it right here to Anaheim. That's how clearly it resembles what Ian's talking about, just so you guys know.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird setup, but the whole basis of that solitary confinement was the only person that you would see would be the jailers. The prisoners, no one, they knew what cells they were in and all that type of deal, but each prisoner wouldn't know who the other prisoner was because all they could see was the uniform.
Right.
It was ultimate torture was the easiest way to put it, because they were in solitary confinement for 23 hours a day inside sandstone walls with no light, pitch black.
That's every description I read of Port Arthur in there was talked about it being a penal settlement from the 1830s, and every description was the same: extreme suffering, hard labor, punishment. I mean, just in negative energy and lingering spirits was a common theme. And like I said, you can breeze around through that stuff. And there are people that say, yeah, some stuff happened to me. And no, I'm not telling you. I don't want to talk about it. That's how strong and real it was. There's nobody looking for fame there. Not that people don't do that, make up ghost stories to be famous, but there's people there that go, it's
not a place you need to.
No, and they don't want to talk about it. So there's something real there, or they would disclose it. I don't know.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
There's a few different things that I can explain, but so after the show, I would highly recommend that people go to YouTube and go to search Ghost Hunters International Season 2, Episode 10, and it will actually take them to the episode that the Ghost Hunters International filmed at Port Arthur. I won't tell you what happens in it. I won't give you any information. I'm just going to say go and watch it, and you will look afterwards. If you are not asking questions about what the fuck is around me, then come and see me.
Well,
because I'll give you a lot more that'll make you do that.
When you were there with your class, did anybody feel uneasy? Was there any just kind of a tension? Maybe you weren't thinking about it too much, but you kind of look back and go, none of us felt in the class, none of us felt great about being there. Was there anything that came about like that?
Yeah. I have shared this story with Shiloh, and I really didn't want to share it because it's going to make people question me. And it still bothers me to this day.
Well, you got to do it now, brother. You opened it up. Come on.
I know. So one of the things that they did with us on that trip was they put us in groups of 3 inside a solitary confinement cell and closed the door.
Oh. For how long?
For 1 minute. Just so you could experience what others had to experience. The 2 other kids that were in the room with me started screaming. When they opened the door, my feet were a foot off the ground, and I had handprints around my neck, and something was choking me.
Did you feel it?
I felt it. My feet was completely off the ground.
Holy
I was
shit.
pinned up against the wall. The cell that they put us in, the guy that was in that cell was in there for raping and killing children.
Holy shit.
Now, I'm not saying I would contact those other 2 kids, but what would they tell me if I asked them, hey, do you remember this event? What would they say?
They would tell you that they felt something extremely cold. And then when the door opens, that I was literally a foot off the ground and pinned up against the wall, and I couldn't breathe, I couldn't move.
So they saw you.
And they saw me pinned against the wall, so did the teachers.
Did this happen to anybody else on the trip?
It has, not on that trip, but it has happened before.
Okay.
My mum said to me, because obviously that was part of why she was questioning me.
Right.
She said to me that because of what she did, and obviously it's something that does carry through.
Yeah.
So there are some things that, like energy and stuff like that, that is higher when that's part of who you are.
Oh yeah, your mom.
My mum seems to think that because my energy was leveled up,
yeah,
that's why it was able to happen to me.
Well, your mom was world renowned for her psychic abilities and connections. So to have some freak of a ghost pick on you, totally normal for me. I would say, you had a little blue light on in the ghost world. They could probably see right at you. They probably went, that fucker right there, that guy. Why wouldn't they? You have to have some of that in you. Even if it was a little bit, they knew.
Yeah. So mum seems to think that energy level, it allowed the spirit to be able to actually interact like that. And it has happened to other people there, to the point that no one's allowed in that cell anymore.
Wow.
That door is completely locked all the time.
I want to go there and have them put me in the cell for an hour.
No.
I do. I want to go and say, hey, you fucked with my friend Ian a long time ago. Try it with me, big boy.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I'm really fat.
I wouldn't recommend it.
He can't lift me up. I'm fat.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm not a little kid. You can't pick me up off the ground. God,
yeah, that fucked with me for a long time, and it still does.
Yeah, think?
Well, needless to say, you're not going anywhere near Port Arthur.
Well, so it took me a long time to go back.
You went back?
In 2004.
Oh.
So I was down there in '96. I wasn't in Port Arthur, but I was down near Port Arthur. We were hunting when Martin Bryant went into Port Arthur and shot all those people. But I kind of explained that one last time.
Yeah.
That's the reason for all the gun laws and that in Australia. We were down there hunting at the time, so I was down near there when all that shit happened. But in 2004, I had a friend of mine that he was kind of interested in the spiritual stuff, and he wanted to go down to Port Arthur, and he kind of talked me into going down. So we went down there, and we were walking through during the day, and we got to where the chapel was, and I said to him, I cannot go in there. And he's like, why? And I said, I'm not going in there. Right? And I had explained to him before, but there was something telling me, do not come in here. You are not to come in here. So I walked around to the other door where they came out. But we went all around during the day, walking around and showing him around, and he wanted to do the ghost tour. I'm like, I'm not sure this is a good idea. And he's like, yep, no, I want to do it. I want to do it. I'm like, okay. So I sat down for probably about an hour going through things that my mum had taught me and things that I'd learned along the way myself,
right,
to make sure that I was as protected as I could be to go somewhere like that and prepared for it. So we started off in the Welcome Centre. They're showing all the photos and everything, and the photo of me is on the wall.
Still there, still on the wall.
Still there.
Wow.
It was still on the wall. And it was actually part of what they were talking about. And there's not just that photo of our class. There was numerous photos of other times where it's happened as well.
Yeah.
So we started in there. They're giving the spiel of why it's all there, what was there, who, what, why, all that deal. When you walk out, they have a rose garden that's like pretty close, and it's inside. It's got like these sandstone walls that go around it. We walk outside, and they're talking about the rose garden, and while we're standing there, everyone just stopped, and you could hear chains clinking, and there's no speakers or anything out there, but you could hear chains clinking and singing.
Jesus.
From the chain gang. It was
Jesus.
they were convicts that were members of the chain gang, and they used to walk through the rose garden down to where they were building the boats. And sometimes they were going down there to work. You know, they might have been cutting lumber down there, whatever. But there was a shipyard down there. They built it. But we're standing there, and you could hear the chains and them singing, clear as day.
It is funny that you brought that up. There was one of the stories that it's not really a story. It's a written testimony. One of the guys who decided to investigate this area, and more to the point where you were at, was an archaeologist. God, I can't remember his name right now. And he knew about all the legends and the stories and stuff, but he was like a hardcore archaeologist, well-respected, a professor at one of the universities over near Sydney, and he was over there doing it. When he spent, I think, 9 months going through the archaeological side, the history side. And normally, whenever you get a site like that has a lot of historical significance, but it also has a lot of paranormal inferences that go on there, usually an archaeologist or a team will go in, and when they're done, they can write 2 books. They have the historical side, the archaeological side, the facts side, and they just dismiss, leave out, or maybe they're just notes they don't include about anything paranormal because they're archaeologists. And that happens all over the world. People constantly do that. And this guy spends 9 months or however long he was there. He goes through all the stuff with him and his crew. And when he's done, he was one of the only guys who included everything he witnessed, he heard, and he felt that aligned with previous stories of ghosts and interactions. He just wrote it all down in this memoir as fact. He wrote it down. He included all the paranormal stuff as historically documented. If he could line up, like you just said, if he could line up the chain gang in the Rose Garden going towards the piers to work on stuff, and they have pictures, they have testimony, they have schedules of what the guards had him go do, he'd write that down as fact, and then he would include all the times that were documented that people heard that, and it was documented and written down, and then his experiences. He would just write it as a paragraph in, here's what happens out there. Here's what happened back then. Here's what happened 50 years ago. And here's what happened last year when I was there. He wrote the whole thing down as factual, as historically accurate is the best way to put it. And I have never run across anybody who investigates on an archaeological site or historical that includes paranormal as fact, as written fact, as part of an historical ledger. And this guy did, because he just shook his head and said, this is real. I don't know what to tell you. Just as sure as I can pick up a stone that has a cross carved in it and hold it and say, oh, look at this. Somebody did this. He can hold those stories true also. That was the most amazing thing if you look him up. Really weird. And he did it. He didn't do it to be famous. He just did his research and moved on, but he included all of it as historical fact. Trippy.
Yeah, every part of the place is it's the history there on its own is insane. But when you start getting into the ghost side of things, the interactions that people have had is just nuts.
Yeah.
So, like, as we're standing there, I turned around to my friend and I said to him, I hope you're ready. And he goes, what do you mean? I said, tonight is going to be interesting. And even the lady that was doing the tour, she said, we have not had it this active immediately for a very long time. And I'm like, I told you, this is not a good idea. So we walk off and we go over to the where the doctor used to live. And right next to the doctor's house is the parsonage. Now, underneath the doctor's house, you kind of go around the back of it, and then there's a set of stairs that goes down and underneath.
Yeah.
There was a doctor in there that, so there's a big table underneath, and it's a big, like, I'm guessing it's like concrete or something, but it's kind of concaved. He would put a body on it, and there was a drain that comes off. That basically he would bleed bodies, and he would dissect them, and that was for medical research. And it was very well known. It's all documented that it was done. You know, it was part of medical training. You know, trying to explore what the bodies were
wasn't doing anything.
Were.
He wasn't doing anything weird. He was like was serious about what he was doing.
Yeah, and he was trying to do what he could to further medicine.
Sure.
So we're standing out the front of the building. They're telling us about it. We weren't allowed to go inside because they were actually doing renovations on the inside of the house. But we went downstairs. And we go downstairs, and there's probably 15 people. And it's a really small room. So with 15 people in there, it's pretty tight. And we're standing down there. The tour guide's giving her talk, talking about exactly what I just explained, and she looks over right behind me, and my whole body went cold as she looked. The doctor was about 6'5", tall, skinny, rather gaunt, and he wore a black apron with like a blue uniform kind of thing underneath it.
Right.
And he was standing right behind me.
Wow.
And everybody saw it. And about 7 or 8 people freaked, screamed, and ran. And I couldn't move. I was frozen. And I wasn't scared or anything. It was just I could not physically move. Wow. And then my whole body started warming up from my feet upwards. And it was like a hand was on my shoulder, and then it just let go, and I was able to walk away. And it wasn't malevolent or, like, you're not going, I'm going to put you on the table or anything like that. It was just, I don't know why. I was just needed to stand there. And my friend's standing beside me, and he's seen it, and he's like, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I'm like, well, you've got about another hour of this shit to go.
Wow.
Good luck.
Wow.
So we all leave, we get up to the top of the stairs, and people are freaking out, and others are trying to calm them down, and we get them all sorted out. We go over into the parsonage. We're standing at the front of the parsonage. They're giving us the story of the parsonage. So the parsonage is obviously where the priest would live with his family.
Yeah.
The most well-known priest, and it was non-denominational, so it didn't make a difference of what their religion was.
Okay.
So the most well-known priest that lived in there, or preacher, whatever you want to call him, I think he had 5 or 6 children. He was there with his wife. It's a 2-story building. They're telling us about it. But he was renowned for people that if they just walked up to his door and opened it, he would slam the door on them. So we're going through the spiel about the house and everything, and they're like, okay, so we're going to go up inside. We get up onto the porch. The lady goes to open the door, and it's slammed in her face.
Oh.
She goes to open it again. It slams in her face. And I said to her, you might want to knock on that. She knocked on the door, just a normal knock, 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 and the door opened.
Wow.
Like nothing happened. It's like, all right. So we go in, and they've got photos on the wall and all that deal. Everyone's walking around having a look at the places that we could get into.
Yeah.
No worries. As we're leaving, we go to walk outside, and I went to close the door, and I don't know why, but I turned around and I said, thank you for letting us visit. And I just pulled the door shut. All good. We're standing back out the front. Everyone's talking. And while we're standing out the front, we could start hearing furniture move around. And then we could hear kids laughing and like they're playing chases upstairs. And the tour guide turned around and said, this is one of the most common things that happens on active nights. And we stood there for probably 20 minutes listening to these kids just run riot upstairs, and you could hear furniture moving around and everything else.
So the tour guide, that was something that happens. I mean, they knew.
Yeah, they knew that it does happen. It was something that she had experienced once before, but it wasn't as clear as it was that night. But
Right.
here's the kicker for you. There was no furniture upstairs. It was an empty room.
Well, see, but that doesn't surprise me because, like, when you said you heard the the guys singing in the chain gang out there, there was
Hmm.
no people, there was no singing, and there was no chains, but you could hear it clearly.
Nope.
So, yeah, I get
Yep.
that. It's
Yeah.
not. That's
But a lot
not.
of people would question it because, well, there's no furniture. How is the furniture moving? It's not. It's
Yeah,
not there physically
yeah,
right
it's
now. It
not.
was when they were
It's
doing it.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Hello,
Yeah.
McFly. The ghost isn't there either as a real person, but he was back then. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. So yeah, that was probably one of the most interesting nights. But then they wanted to go over into the solitary confinement. And we get over near there, and I could physically see someone standing in the doorway going, "You are not coming in here. We are not doing it. You are not coming in here." And I said to my friend, "I'm not going in there. I'm not allowed to." And I'm trying to explain it to him, and I'm trying to explain it to the tour guide, and the tour
wow.
guide's like, "It's fine, it's fine." I'm like, "Nope, I am not going in there.
No, it's not.
Whoever that is that's standing there is telling me I am not allowed, and I'm not going against that because I don't see people very often, and when I
Right.
do, it's a warning." And I'm like, "Yep, not going in there." They
Wow.
went in there. They were doing the same thing, standing in the cubicles and all that deal.
Right.
And I went up to the other door where they were coming out. No one said anything, but when they all came out, every single one of them was shaking. I got no idea what happened, but they all saw something that scared the living shit out of them.
Well, this
My friend
place.
turned around to me and he goes, "I need to leave."
Yeah. It's a hotbed. It is an absolute hotbed. There's points like that on Earth. A lot of people say that there's no such thing as ghosts, that these are all some sort of demons or angels that are trying to pick a point on Earth where if your energy is believing and looking, it makes it easier for them to cross over into our side of things. So they go to places like that and they mimic the stories. They know the stories, so they mimic the stories so that we as humans will be more receptive to accept it and believe it. And that's one of the theories is that they try to go to places that people are already open-minded. They're looking hard. Their energy is focused on it, and that makes it easier for these demons or angels or whatever to reach over and do a little bit, to sound a little bit, to touch a little bit because of that. And I don't know if that's true. I don't know. I'm not saying it is or it isn't. I'm just saying that's why people go to these places, these focused points on the planet, and what you just described is one of them, one of the biggest.
hmm So to go into that a little bit, what you're saying, it's so obviously energy needs to be at certain levels for activity to be able to happen.
Yeah.
So, and that amount of, and I'll say like that amount of evil that has happened in one place creates a set level of energy. So it does go up and down, and it also gets affected by what people that are there and everything else. My personal belief about what you were saying about angels and demons and
Yeah.
how they interact. If they truly have the strength to be able to interact in the first place, they don't need somewhere like that. They create it on their own, which is how you get hauntings in like a solo house or around one person in particular or what have you.
Right.
I'm a firm believer that we are just in amongst different multi-dimensions.
Okay.
Everything happens all at the same time,
Sure.
past, present, future, and the spiritual plane is just something that coincides with what we see. That's the way I was raised. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that that's not far off.
No, I've heard that too. That everything's happening all at once, past, present, and future, and the spiritual plane can move between them, which is why old things can be seen now. I get that. I understand that theory. The other one is that we had the hometown ghost guys on here. We did an interview with them. We got to hear some of their stories. And one thing that I asked a question, I said, do you ever think you run across one spirit in a place pretending to be another one? Like if you guys know that Bob, the ghost Bob, was a farmer, and Bob got, eaten by dogs, and his spirit is still there. Let's go to this house, this old farmhouse, and talk to Bob. And I said, do you think there's other spirits can come in there and pretend to be Bob because you're looking for Bob? And the answer was yeah. So,
Yep.
and not that it matters. It doesn't matter if the guy if the spirit that was holding you off the ground was actually the guy from that cell in that time, or it was a different ghost pretending to be that guy. Who gives a shit? You were still being held up in the air, up against the wall. I mean, the contact was there. So, I'm just.
Well, the marks were around my neck for weeks.
Wow.
Like it was physical marks around my neck, like a handprint.
I'm surprised with all your mother's psychic connections, she didn't go over there and whoop some ass. Psychologically speaking, spiritually.
I don't know what my mum did about all of that. I don't remember that part of it. I remember being sat down, being asked what happened, going through it all with her.
Yeah.
Her friends were there. They're going through everything, and I was literally just told to go and sit down in the lounge room, go and sit by the fire. That's all I was told.
Wow.
What they did after that, I have no idea.
Well,
I do not know. But I know that my life changed for quite a while.
I bet.
Just after that.
That's not something you walk away from. Not easily. It's tough.
No.
Well, but, Ian, I appreciate you calling in, buddy, or letting us call you. Appreciate the story. It's on the records, man, forever. Now we can listen to it and replay it. For anybody who wants to go back over and start doing some history, poking around, they have you gave them the YouTube thing. Give them that YouTube site one more time. What are they looking for again?
Ghost Hunters International, Season 2, Episode 10.
There you go. That's what you're looking for. Also, you can play this to your heart's content and get all the information back again, make some notes, and then go do your own homework. Go do your own investigation. See what you guys come up with. Ian, I'm saying good night. Thank you, brother.
If people actually want to ask me questions, if they meet me in person, I am open to actually talking.
Well, they're going to. I think we're going to be bumping into you a lot over the next year or two. So, Ian, I'm going to hang up, man.
Yeah,
thanks for letting us.
All right, brother.
Thanks for letting us call you.
No worries, man. I've got to go back and do some driving.
Appreciate you.
Bye, Ian.
Bye, Mary.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so look at that. You think about stuff and you wonder if something's real or not until you hear someone talk about it. And then, like I said, like he was saying, he wasn't even going to tell the second story. And then you got to. You already told us about it. You already told Shiloh, the producer. Shiloh would have run over there and ripped his nutsack off if she'd be like, I told them you had a great story. You better finish telling.
Don't they think that, I just blanked out. Alcatraz is haunted. There's some things.
Yeah, I mean,
that place was pretty
I know.
nasty.
I've heard some stuff about the lower levels underneath the prison where they had the real heavy solitary confinement stuff, but I've never done any homework on it. Now, the hometown ghost hunter guys said they want to go out. They did a whole documentary from afar. They didn't go there.
Yeah.
But they want to. They want to get out there and walk around and bring their gear and do some stuff. So they must think there's something there worth doing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just that's an odd thing, but hopefully, if things come together with our producer Shiloh and Little Miss Hot and Nerdy, Christine Matlock, she's married to Ben Matlock.
Never lost a case.
Never lost a case. We're supposed to do next spring. We're supposed to do some of the gold mines up here in Virginia City that
you are.
Everybody says is haunted.
You are.
And we're trying to get the hometown ghost guys to come and do it with us at the same time. I think we can work that out too. That sounds like it's going to come together.
Sounds like right up your alley.
Oh, I'm going to be digging that shit.
I'll be home.
Bring.
It's okay.
You going to just have chocolates and watch Oprah and let me know how it turns out?
Sounds perfect. I'll pray for you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, it's time to say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for helping us out with another episode of Off the Record with the General. Let you guys know that we don't know any of these stories to be true or not. We're not endorsing them. We're just letting you guys listen in just like we're listening in. We haven't talked to any of these people about these things before they come on the air. We're just listening. We are conscientious objectors just like you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in. Not sure where you're listening in from around the planet, AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps you tuned in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember two things in this life. Number one, wherever you go, there you are. And number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side because I'm out, baby. I got to go.